For some reason, balloons never fail to make any kid happy. I don't know if it's the helium making the balloon float or the various colorful designs, but seeing one certainly brings back wonderful memories of theme parks and carnival rides. One or two are generally harmless, but what about releasing 1.5 million balloons? Is that scene from the Disney movie Up actually possible in real life? What's up, Facnatics? This is Discovery Amuse serving up your daily dose of the most outrageous, outlandish, and out-of-this-world fun facts. Keep watching if you want to see how releasing 1.5 million balloons went horribly wrong. Up and away, and that beautiful. Here's the plan. In 1986, charity organization United Way from Cleveland came up with a spectacular idea for a fundraising and publicity stunt. Set a new world record for simultaneously flying the most number of balloons. The ambitious event was named Balloonfest, which aimed to beat Disneyland's record by releasing 2 million balloons into the air, all at the same time. People sold sponsorships for filling up the balloons, which would then fund the charity. United Way made $1 for every 2 balloons filled up. The plan was ingenious in its simplicity.
So a lot of technical research and research through the city permits. It's endless. It's absolutely astonishing to try and get something like this off, let alone waiting for good weather.
The date was set, September 27, 1986. It took 6 months to plan and prepare the whole thing. They constructed a massive rectangular structure in Cleveland's public square, which housed the balloons while waiting to be released. As D-Day approached, 2,500 volunteers worked day and night, inflating the balloons and making them float up into the enormous net hovering above. The volunteers even bandaged their fingers with tape to prevent getting blisters.
What are those?
Let's tape bandages.
Okay, and what are they for?
They're for getting away from sores from your hand.
Okay.
Everything was going smoothly, but the weather was threatening to rain on their parade. The execution. Of all the days, the weather decided to rear its ugly head just as the event drew close. Weather forecasters warned of an approaching rainstorm that spelled serious trouble for the organizers. But the event couldn't be delayed. All of Cleveland was counting on them, and most of the balloons had been inflated. Absolutely an event planner's worst nightmare. In response to the looming storm, the organizers stopped inflating at 1.5 million balloons because they're gonna beat the record at that number anyway. On the day of the event, the team decided to release the balloons earlier than scheduled. At 1:50 p.m., spectators, volunteers, and the flocks of local press all waited in bated breath as the organizers counted down.
3, 2, 1. Here they go. Amazing.
The electrified crowd were all shades of amazed as the colorful cloud of balloons billowed out into the gray skies and wrapped the terminal tower in a warm embrace. It was an astounding achievement and a source of great pride for the city that had the infamous nickname Mistake on the Lake. They had just broken a world record, and the event would certainly put Cleveland on the map. But all the celebration was cut short when the weight of the air finally caught up with the flying balls of latex. The dreamlike display quickly turned into a devastating disaster. The aftermath. Mother Nature seemed to be not too amused with the Clevelanders' stunt. The cold winds and rain propelled the balloons back to Earth, driving them towards the freeways, rivers, and Lake Erie looking like a plague of biblical proportions. The balloons littered the land and clogged the waterways all over Northeast Ohio. A lot of traffic accidents also had been reported. Either the drivers swerved to avoid the balloons or they took their eyes off the road to marvel at the spectacle. The nearby Burke Lakefront Airport also had to shut down one of their runways thanks to the wet, unpopped balloons. It was total pandemonium. Some of the balloons landed on a pasture where Arabian racehorses were located. The horses got stressed at the sight of the balloons and even injured themselves out of fear. The owner of the racehorses ended up suing United Way for $100,000 worth of damages. But just when everyone thought things couldn't get any worse, the ill-fated Balloonfest inadvertently claimed the lives of 2 people. The day before the event, two fishermen, Raymond Broderick and Bernard Sulzer, went fishing on Lake Erie, but their wives reported that the two men didn't return the following day. Their boat was anchored west of Edgewater Park Breakwall, but the fishermen were nowhere to be found. The Coast Guard conducted a search and rescue for the two missing fishermen on September 27, the same day the infamous balloons were released. Time was of the essence for the rescue operation, but the Balloonfest turned the difficult into virtually impossible. The floating balloons riddled the lake, making it harder for the Coast Guard to find the missing fishermen.
It's making this search so tough for the Coast Guard. Can you imagine trying to find somebody floating out here or even spotting a life jacket with all these balloons on the water?
So much so that they had to suspend their search until the waters were cleared of the helium-filled debris. 2 days later, their lifeless bodies were found washed up on the shore. Grieving for her loss, one of the wives sued United Way for hampering with the Coast Guard's search and rescue. The wife sued for $3.2 million, but later settled on an undisclosed amount. The impact. If there was a silver lining in all this, it was the fact that the balloons were biodegradable, or so the organizers claimed. Weeks after the event, people were still picking up balloons hanging around beaches, and some of them even reached as far as Ontario, Canada. This prompted Ontario resident P. Allen Woodliff to file a complaint against United Way, claiming that since the balloons were still made of plastic, it would take months for them to break down. Aside from the time and expenses needed to clean up their beaches, the balloons also posed a threat to wildlife that might ingest them. Some critics also pointed out the hypocrisy of the event. Obviously, the Balloonfest was not a cheap undertaking, costing upwards of $500,000. Some say United Way could have used that amount for a more charitable cause instead of staging such an expensive spectacle that reeked of hot air. After some good old reflection, George Fraser, the director of marketing and communications of United Way, released a 1994 profile expressing how he felt about the event. By the early 1980s, Fraser had left P&G for a 3-year stint as director of marketing and communications for United Way. The period was marked by an incident Fraser calls both his greatest success and his biggest failure. But amidst all of the controversy, United Way still got what they wished for. The Guinness Book of World Records officially awarded them the record for the largest mass balloon release in its 1988 book. 1,429,632 balloons to be exact. The charity institution, for all intents and purposes, had the best intentions in mind. Unfortunately, just when we least expect it, it happens. So, what do you think of the Cleveland Balloonfest? Yay or nay? Exciting or excruciating? Let us know in the comments section below. Not to burst your bubble, but if you're still not part of our fantastic tribe of Factnatics, then you're totally missing out. So go ahead and smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell right now and get first dibs on our latest life-changing, boredom-busting content. Take home our exclusive gear by browsing our merch shelf below or clicking the link in the video description. And while you're at it, take our quiz to find out how you can earn extra cash online doing what you do best. Awesome, right? Want more high-flying antics? Then check out our countdown of the 10 rocket launches that went horribly wrong. Till then, stay afloat, Factnatics, and see you in the next video.